Welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Tonight we are talking about Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, episode number 10.
Mm-hmm.
And after this, we have 2 more episodes.
So basically, we got 13 episodes the whole season. It seems like nothing.
Actually, I don't even think it's 13. If we have 2 more episodes, that'll put us at 12.
Oh, you're right. I can't count. Obviously, I can't count. But yeah. So 12, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Again, it just goes back to they just shouldn't have even shot this season yet. They should have held off longer.
Yeah, I guess they tried and
it was too soon.
This is what we got.
Yeah.
So it starts out, they're at the Craftsman. They go out to dinner, Melissa, Joe, and her mom, Donna. I never heard of the Craftsman. Have you?
No.
I didn't look it up. It looked like a nice place.
Yeah. It must be up by Franklin Lakes where they live.
Yeah.
Because it's not down here by us.
No, it's definitely not by us. They were talking about the fashion show, the Envy fashion show. And we were hearing a little bit about Donna Marco is dating some guy. I did not know that she was widowed 2 times.
I did not either. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever mentioned that before, but we've never seen her married on the show. So she must have been widowed for the second time prior to Melissa getting on the show. Or because, I mean, I'm sure she would have had that as a storyline that her stepfather passed.
I would think so. Yeah. So I was surprised to hear that. But good for her. And I get it. Like, they're worried about her. I mean, she just turned 75 and she's alone.
Yeah.
And, I would be worried about my mother if she was completely alone as well.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's 79 and he lives alone, I mean, he sees his girlfriend a lot every week for 3 days. Other than that, he's home alone.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah, for sure.
It's tough. Then we see Margaret goes over to Dolores' house because they kind of need to hash out what Jackie said. Because Jackie said to Dolores that Margaret was talking trash about Paulie. And I guess once they get over there, Margaret's talking a little bit about Joe having the MRI and how she's worried about him, which is understandable. Mm-hmm. But she does admit to Dolores that she did say that, she's not really fond of the fact that after the reunion that Teresa and Luis went out with Dolores and Paulie after what had happened at the reunion, particularly given the fact that Margaret had, made that allegation at that time that Luis, called her son at work.
And Dolores knows it's true. Right.
But
do you remember the trailer that dropped? It shows Dolores saying the C word and Margaret going, "That's enough." We did not see that in this scene.
No, we didn't. So
I guess in the trailer.
I guess no, but I guess it's coming in the finale.
They already had that scene. It was that scene. It was them sitting on the couch.
It was?
Yeah.
I'm
99.9% sure. I could always be wrong because I could always be wrong, obviously.
Right.
But I'm 99.9% sure that it was the scene of them sitting on the couch.
Oh, and I thought something was coming up because I remember that there was.
Maybe there's a different scene on the couch.
Between them. Maybe. I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see. And then Danielle's getting ready to go to the fashion show and she's talking to Nate about, how everyone is going to be there, obviously, except Teresa, because it's the Envy fashion show. And obviously Teresa's not going to go to that. And, Melissa sent her a dress from Envy to wear, which was very nice. And she was talking about the Kidz Bop video that
was so cool.
That was so cute that both of her kids wound up being in. But, I thought it was interesting. So she asked Nate about the Kidz Bop, like, did you invite my dad? I really would like for him to be there. And he's like, yeah, but he didn't, give me an answer yet. And then the producer said to her, well, why don't you just ask your dad? And, her response was, she really just is having a hard time with what happened between her father, her and her brother. And she felt like her father was taking his side. And she thought that, I guess if she had a conversation, we see that she does kind of,
she flies off the handle.
Yeah, fly off the handle. And she doesn't want to do that.
Right. Because God forbid she does that. And then she severs that relationship for good. Now she lost her brother and her father and she doesn't think she can come back from that. And that's a very honest way of saying it.
Yeah. And Nate doesn't have a problem doing it since he's lost his father a long time ago and he considers him like a dad to him. So, that's good that she has him. I mean, I really think that they are a good couple together.
I do too. I think he's MVP for husbands this season, man. He might. I don't want to say he's the number 1 guy in the group just yet.
No, I wouldn't give him that, but he
definitely gets MVP for husband.
Yeah. I mean, just that whole incident that happened at the party, at the Tulum party, when they show him across the party.
Yep.
And then as soon as it happened, he was there. Like he had his eye on the situation the whole time. And I even remember the very first season she came on the show. Remember, she was walking out of a lot of parties because she was going to get heated and she knows who he, but he was there watching her the entire time.
Yep.
Like,
and you know, it's funny because her first season, that aggravated me so much every time she walked out. And I thought, you're like, you know, you have to go through these scenes. You can't just keep walking out. And it was aggravating me, but now I get it because quite honestly, I'm a lot like that. So I get it. Like if she had to remove her, that was a smart thing she did last season by removing herself from those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Like but like you said, we didn't know that at the time. We didn't really know what a hothead she is.
Right. I just want to say one thing about the fashion show. I just want to be clear that Melissa was rocking the naturally curly hair first before Teresa and Jenn Aydin blew it up on social media this week. I just want to get that out there. Just in case Teresa's next tweet or whatever, you know, that Melissa was copying her with the curly hair. We all saw it.
Yep.
She had it first.
Yep, she did. She did. So then all the ladies are talking about going to the fashion show with their husbands and the dynamics that are going on. I just thought it was very interesting about Jackie and Margaret going at each other. I still don't totally understand this whole dynamic. I don't completely understand what started it. Do you?
I think I do. I mean, I'm certainly not friends with them, talking to them on the phone, but this is my take of it. I think that Margaret knew exactly what Jackie was doing. I think that, listen, Margaret has an arsenal, right? She knows everything that's going on with everybody. So I'm sure Margaret knew that Jim Leonard reached out to Jackie and said, you come on our side, we'll make things happen for you. We'll get you back on the show full time. And Jackie flipped. And I think Margaret knew all of that going into this season. So the whole book thing, I think Margaret was making a bigger deal out of that. I mean, she hasn't really mentioned it since, right?
No, she has not.
Since the beginning.
No,
but,
she has not. She has not.
I think that was her way of being like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know,
I mean,
like, it's just, yes, we're just talking about a book, but really we're talking about what you're really doing. And I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's my personal take on it.
No, I think you're right. That makes sense. I mean, even though nobody is saying that's what happened.
Exactly.
But that does make sense.
It's like not breaking the fourth wall, but we all know it's happening.
Right. And we know it's happening because of everything that's on social media and everything that we see behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's all coming out now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess do we get to the Envy show?
Yes. And we finally see Frank and Brittany, for crying out loud. Why has it taken so long?
Yes, we did finally see Frank and Brittany, and she looks
had
stunning.
To postpone their trip. She always looks stunning, Brittany.
Yes.
For God's sakes, give the girl a full-time spot. If she wants it. Maybe she doesn't want it.
She probably doesn't want it. I mean, who needs that? Who needs that aggravation? Like, right? I'd be like, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks.
Exactly. But they had to postpone their, right. So I guess at this point, she doesn't know what's going on. But he had to postpone the trip because his dog passed away.
So I don't even know if we are going to see it.
I don't know. Well, now I'm thinking, maybe did it not happen? Where was it supposed to happen? Costa Rica?
Huh?
Maybe it didn't happen in Costa Rica. Maybe he wound up doing it home in North Jersey, and maybe we will see it.
Yeah.
I kind of hope.
Yeah, I would like to see it too. You know, that would be a nice thing.
Yeah. No Bill Aydin at the fashion show.
No Bill Aydin, because he doesn't want any part of that.
No Evan.
You're right.
I don't think we saw Evan.
No,
right?
I didn't see Evan or Bill. You're absolutely right.
If Evan was there, he wasn't hanging out with the husbands. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
They showed Frank, John Fuda, Joe, and Joe.
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So then Jackie gets there and she's talking to Rachel and Danielle, and she finds and then Margaret walks up and they find out that they all got dresses from Melissa from Envy. Yep. And Jackie gets her nose all bent out of shape.
She sure does.
I didn't get a dress. Like, did you need a dress? Before she found out they got their dresses, when she was asked if her dress was Envy, she's like, well, I haven't been to her store in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you haven't been to her store in a while and you're not really close with her, why would she send you a dress?
Right. And she knows what you're doing too, without saying it and breaking the fourth wall.
Right.
She knows what you're doing.
Right.
Obviously, she's not. I mean, obviously, we're not supposed to know that right now. And Jackie's on, filming, trying to make Melissa look like the bad guy. But now that we know everything, we know everything.
Right. And then she goes over to Dolores and Jen Fessler. Jackie does. And she's like, they all got dresses from Envy. I didn't get a dress from Melissa. Like, just again, trying to stir the pot.
Right. And Dolores is like, I didn't either.
Yeah.
And she didn't give two shits.
Right. And Jenn Aydin was there as well. And then Jenn Aydin is sitting at the fashion show next to, I don't remember the girl's name, but she's actually friends with Danielle, the girl that Jenn Aydin was sitting next to.
Was it Kayla, the party planner?
Yeah,
maybe the other girls
yes.
in the fashion show.
Tiffany's in it. Yeah. So it was Kayla.
Right.
And she says to her, are these her fashions? Like, did she design these clothes? And then in her confessional, she's like, I don't know why we're having a fashion show if she didn't even design the clothes. And then she has to bring up the whole thing about, well, there's no male models because, I mean, come on. It's so
total
obvious.
Shade, so messy.
Really messy.
And the thing is that we've been seeing Kim D do this with fashion shows. I mean, it's obviously a thing.
Right.
It's a boutique putting on a fashion show of their latest trends.
Their line. Right.
For the new season.
Right.
So we've been seeing Kim D do it for years. You know damn well that's what's going on here. You know she's not designing her own stuff. And of course, everybody's blowing up social media today saying the same thing. We've been seeing Kim D do this for years, people. Stop acting stupid.
I don't understand why didn't anyone say that? Why didn't anyone say, like, maybe, well, because she did it in her confessional.
Right.
It will come out.
Shady.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't like about her, is that shade that she does behind the back. That's actually, once we get to the fashion show, that's because they didn't expect Danielle to show up because she was doing the Kidz Bop thing.
Oh, no, that was the Namaste Bitches thing. She showed up
that's right.
she wasn't supposed to.
That's what I meant. Yep. The Namaste Bitches. Okay,
Yeah.
You're right. So she shows up. I'm jumping to that because I think that was it. Yeah, that was it for the fashion show. So the Namaste Bitches is the next big event. And Danielle wasn't going to be able to make it because her kids were doing the Kidz Bop. But she wanted to support Teresa. At this point, she was really still trying to be friends with Teresa and make this friendship work. She wasn't picking a side. She was trying to be friends with both sides. And when she gets there and they're in the back room and she starts with Jenn Aydin, what was the first comment she made?
They said something about being in a church and she said lightning was going to strike down or something. First of all, who dressed Teresa for this Namaste Bitches thing? Because that dress was fucking hideous, and it didn't fit her right.
I didn't hate it.
Oh, it didn't fit her right. It looked awful. I mean, who is dressing this girl, Louis?
Yeah, I know. I didn't think it looked bad. I didn't hate it. I mean, she was sitting most of the time because it was, a podcast. So you don't really see the full look anyway. I just thought it was interesting that she's like, oh, I met her a year ago and we kind of hit it off. So we decided to do a podcast together. But we know that that's not the truth. Like, we know what happened.
Wait, how did they meet? I don't think I know.
Well, no. Jim Leonard. Jim Leonard put them together.
Melissa Feaster?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. Jim Leonard put them together.
She's such a liar. She just lies about everything. And how about what she said about this isn't like my sister-in-law, Melissa, and what she called her?
Right. This is the good one, not the bad one, or not the evil one, or something like that. Like, saying one was good and one was bad.
Yeah. Yep. There were lots of empty seats in that venue.
There was. So the theme of it was, what was
something
it?
About peace.
Finding her inner peace.
Never going to happen.
And it's weird too, because when she got up on the stage, and she said she was, they were there to talk, her podcast live, and it was about finding her inner peace. And she read a segment from her journal, and that was it. And then she took a break.
Right.
I mean,
that's all we saw. Maybe
I know,
there was more, but
what else was there? If
could
that's
you imagine
all
paying $200 to go see that?
No, I cannot. And what else could there have, like, what actually was she doing if that's the best that they got to put on TV?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I have no idea, but when she said...
Yes. Oh, yeah, she forgives God.
I mean, he must be so relieved that Teresa has forgiven him. God. He must be up there so relieved.
Yes, because, that she's now forgiven God because she went to jail.
Right, because she went to jail.
That's why she was mad at him. And
no Bill Aydin again at this one, or Evan.
No Bill Aydin or Evan. And when they're in the back, when she goes back there on her break, that's when she said she really wants to bring Jenn Aydin and Danielle back together. And Danielle made that snarky comment, but you know what? She said it to her face.
Yes, she did.
I don't remember exactly what she said, but because I didn't write it down, but whatever it was, she said to her face. And that's what I like about Danielle.
Mhm.
If she has something to say to you, she's going to say it to your face. She's not going to go in a confessional.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, she did in the confessional say all the things she wanted to say.
That was good. That was very good, actually.
That was good. That was good. But honestly, I think given the opportunity, she probably would have said that to her face too.
I totally agree.
You know
I
what I
totally
mean?
agree.
She would have.
Yep. But when she said, by the way, you look like shit, that was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with Jenn Aydin, she just doesn't even know how to react to her.
No, she's like Teresa. She doesn't know what to say unless you know, I mean, Teresa needs somebody writing it down for her, telling her what to say. I don't think Jen's that bad, but she needs time to process it. That's why here's the thing about Jenn Aydin, and I'm sure you saw her on Watch What Happens Live, right? She thinks she's being funny.
Right.
She's not funny. She's not funny at all. She's cutting, but she tries to play it off as humor.
Funny. Yeah.
And it doesn't land. For me, it doesn't land personally.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing on Watch What Happens Live, that was, I mean, Bill Aydin was there.
Yes, he was there. And her mom.
And her mom was there.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't write it down. There was something she said on Watch What Happens Live that really annoyed me too. And now I can't remember what it was.
She said a lot of things that annoyed me on Watch What Happens Live.
Do you remember?
Well, the one thing about the bloggers, like, you know, they start out as fans and we try to be as nice to them as possible. And, but you're not, and Andy didn't push her at all. Oh, and you know how I feel about this. He had her in the first seat and Rachel Fuda in the second seat with some SNL actress on with her. I mean, that annoyed the shit out of me. He's so shady, Andy. I can't stand him. But Andy didn't push her. She's like, well, the bloggers start out as fans, you know, and then we do what we can to be so nice to them so they don't turn on you. And
right.
But you gave them screeners.
Right.
You told them what was coming up on the show. You broke a confidentiality agreement with your employer.
Yes, you did.
And Teresa. You should both be fired for that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And she said her and Teresa are on good terms.
Who, Jenn Aydin?
Yeah, on Watch What Happens Live.
I didn't know that they ever weren't.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, especially when Teresa is not sticking up for her. But that's who Teresa is. So if Jen's going to be on good terms with her, she's going to accept her not sticking up for her.
That's right. Yep.
You know?
Yep. For sure.
I was also surprised when they brought out Kathy Wakili on Watch What Happens Live.
Okay, so what do you think that means? Because you know it means something.
Well, first of all, what about the shade that Kathy Wakili threw to Melissa?
Melissa. It's her street.
It's
she never said
street.
that, bitch. And I love Kathy Wakili, but she never said.
No, she didn't. And I think this is what I think, and I could be wrong. She did say it's convenient that all of a sudden now she wants to be friends. I think Joe and Melissa dropped her.
Oh, they 100% did.
After the whole Teresa thing. But that's when they got back with Teresa.
I think Teresa said to them, I'm cutting Kathy out. And you need to also, or this isn't going to work.
Right.
Don't you think she put that ultimatum out there?
Absolutely, 100%. And then they did that because it was his sister. And now that they don't even have a relationship with her, Teresa, they're like, well, maybe we can have the relationship with Kathy because it's still his cousin. Yep. It's still Joe's cousin.
But Richie already came out and said something against them too. So I don't think that's going to happen. However, I understand you like the property. But if you feel that strongly about your cousin, why would you move on their street? They already live there. That can't be the only property available on a lake in Franklin Lakes. Why? Why do you have to move there?
Yeah, but what does she even say? Oh, the lots are like 2 acres each, so it's not like, 2 acres is not that big.
No, but I mean, it's not like they're going to be running into each other a lot. I see what her point was there, but you're on the same street. You're going to see each other at some point, and you're going to have the same neighbors. So now you're putting yourselves in the same circle.
Right.
I do think there was a reason she was on, though. I mean, could you imagine if they bring her back? I can't even see her going back, But I never thought I'd see her on Watch What Happens Live again either.
Yeah, I was surprised to see her. And I was so even more surprised to see that her daughter had worked for Aydin Plastic Surgery.
Me too. Because they seemed very friendly with each other. But
yes.
here, Teresa is Jenn's BFF. I mean, I am curious. Like, what does Teresa think about all that? I guess they're not hanging out, but they did.
Yeah, I mean, she went to her house for Christmas Eve. But that was even before she even knew Teresa.
Mm-hmm. Jenn wasn't on the show yet.
No, I know.
Kathy was already off and Jenn wasn't on yet.
I mean, is it that small up there that these people are so intermingled? I mean, Dolores worked for Aydin Plastic Surgery.
Oh my God, that's right.
I mean, it's seriously. I mean, I think maybe we should go work for Aydin Plastic Surgery.
I will work for Bill Aydin. I will work for Bill Aydin. He seems like a nice guy to work for. And I heard a long time ago, if you work for a plastic surgeon, you get one procedure free a year.
No way.
I heard that a long time ago. I don't know if it's true or not.
Interesting.
I would like to find out. I know somebody, I ran into her and I asked her what she was doing. And she's like, oh, I'm working for Dr. So-and-so, who was a plastic surgeon. She looked amazing. Her whole face looked amazing. I was like, that makes sense. You look fucking great. Of course you're working for a plastic surgeon.
Those are some good perks to have. Yeah,
one procedure a year? Damn.
I'd have to probably work there 10 years, though, to get it all done.
Me too. Me too. But man, after that 10 years, I'd look good. Maybe that's where Dolores got her obsession with it. Because
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know.
I will say this. I did think, I don't feel like this is too low. I did think Jennifer Aydin was funny when somebody said, are you on Ozempic? And she said no. And she was going and going and going. And then she's like, I'm on Mounjaro.
That was hysterical. That was hysterical.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Good for her for being honest about that.
Right. I'm not on Ozempic. I'm on Mounjaro.
Yeah. Yeah. That was funny.
That was funny. But you know what? That was planned because Andy said to her, oh, isn't there something you wanted to clear up?
You're right.
That's the thing with Jenn. Jenn has to be planned. That's the difference between her and Danielle. Danielle is quick with that tongue and it just comes right out. Just like Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel's the same way. She is quick with that tongue and you better be ready.
Yeah,
because to go toes with someone like that, you better, just like Lala, same thing.
Yes,
both very quick with their tongue, but the other ones, they got to plan it out.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, but that was totally planned. It was still funny.
You're right.
Speaking of Lala, she just had her baby Monsoon.
Oh, did you see the pictures?
I saw the pictures
of the summer moon.
What's her Stassi's daughter's name?
Stassi's daughter's name.
Oh,
Arlo? No.
It's something like that.
She's so cute.
She's so cute. She is so cute. And also, I saw Randall's ex was there too. Yeah, Randall's ex, because Lala and Randall's ex are close now.
Good for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he has children with that woman as well. Right?
Yes. And, Lala spent a lot of time with her children. And I think her children were there too.
Yeah.
Because they're Ocean's step siblings.
Right. Half siblings.
Half siblings. Yeah. So I thought that I listen, I'm happy for Lala. I know that there's still haters. There are still people hating on her, but good for her. She's doing it on her own.
Right.
She's got her village. She's got her mom. She's got her brother. Let her do her thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we want to talk about Siggy?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
So Siggy Flicker was on David Yontif's Behind the Velvet Rope.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize it was 2 parts. Wendy pointed that out to me. I only listened to the 1 part, and it was all I could handle.
So you listened to the second part, I'm sure. That was the one on July 8th. The first part was about 2 weeks prior to that.
I think she's lost her mind. I haven't heard one person on Bravo talk about Siggy Flicker, and she keeps saying how they can't keep her name out of their mouth. One time I heard Margaret say, I warned you about Siggy to Andy, and it was at one of the reunions, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago.
And really...
honestly, that was when she was touting everything about. And I think it had more to do with that than anything else. Because we know how Margaret and Andy feel about Trump. Yes.
And Margaret is really the only one she has such contempt for.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, she's pro Teresa. She has nothing but nice things to say about Teresa. She didn't say a mean thing, but I've also heard her on All About the TRH. Several months ago, she was on.
I remember. I listened to it.
Yeah. And again, she was slamming Margaret the entire time, slamming Bravo, not so much slamming Melissa and Joe, but she brought up the same points about them going out to dinner with producer.
But that's all she said. And those girls on All About TRH they were baiting her so bad to say something negative about Melissa. And I felt like she didn't, other than that story about them being out to dinner with producers, which, okay, they're out to dinner with producers. Teresa's lawyer is literally writing the script for seasons now. And we know this now.
And supposedly Jim Leonard was at the Namaste Bitches. I did not see him.
I didn't either, but Gina said that.
Yeah, that he was in the background. And the other thing about that Namaste Bitches, I don't know if you picked it up, but the guy that introduced them, I forget his name, he is like her producer of her podcast now.
Yeah.
He was the producer then. And supposedly there was talks for the girls to get a podcast, the Gia and Melania. And he was going to produce that. So he is also, I'm sure, intertwined with Mr. Leonard.
Exactly. He's on the payroll.
Yes, he is on the payroll.
Yeah.
But yes, Siggy was consistent, I thought, with her story that she said on All About the TRH and what she said with David Yontiv. But I don't understand why she's doing it. Like, what is she getting out of this? She keeps saying, and she has nothing to lose, but why are you doing it? Like, what is your purpose?
Listen, did you hear what she said about Louis? She's saying that Margaret is making up the story that Louis called her son.
I didn't hear her say that. I didn't hear her say that.
Yeah, she said that Margaret was making it up. She's wasting the police's energy.
Yes, she did.
She said it.
She said anyone can get a police report. Okay, but this is not a police report. This is a police investigation.
She's saying that the spoof phone calls were BS.
Yes,
they were not. I got them, not from Housewives, but I was involved in. I've said it before.
But she said that she got the spoof phone call too. Her daughter did it from somebody. But it was cell phones. It was cell phone to cell phone, not to business calls.
Exactly.
Not to business
numbers. Nobody's calling landlines.
Right.
Yeah. I do agree with her that production's dirty. I do agree that production's responsible for the toxicity on this franchise. And I've said this before, and I don't like Teresa. I don't think Teresa's a good person. I think that she has done nothing but try to tear Joe and Melissa down. And I think there was a time where they reconciled and then enter Louis and it got bad again. However, I do think that both of Joe and Teresa do have Bravo to blame for the downfall of their family, because Bravo did nothing to help them. Nothing. They've only made it worse. And I think that they're going to try to get Kathy back on that show. And what do you think's going to happen? Kathy's going to have to, if they bring Kathy back on that show, Kathy's going to have to either be close with Teresa or be close with Joe. And that's messing with that family even more. But I still can't see her coming back on the show, Kathy.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. Like you said, so Siggy is trying to say that Margaret made up the story. But again, what does she gain by that? Like, what does she gain?
That Teresa gets a bad edit. She's doing it for Teresa.
You really think that she's doing it for Teresa? You think Teresa called her up and said, "Can you do this?" You think Jim Leonard called her up? I don't get that from her.
Didn't she say she knows Jim Leonard? She knows Jim Leonard. I mean, listen.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Jim Leonard's an attorney from Atlantic City. Why are all these people in North Jersey using him? It doesn't make sense. He's not some big name. I've worked for lawyers for 25 years. I never heard of Jim Leonard before the Real Housewives. It's not like he's this big, there's time criminal lawyers out there. There's big time trial lawyers out there. You know the heavy hitters in Jersey. Never once did I ever hear his name. Not a heavy hitter. And he was from AC.
Right. She also did bring up about Joe being deported and why Teresa didn't go to Trump. Right. And she said that she didn't have to. She had her own way there. She didn't have to ask Siggy's help for that. She had her own way to take care of it, but it couldn't happen at the time. And that's not to say that it won't happen in the future.
Yeah, I never thought she had to go through Siggy for that.
No, I didn't either.
She had her own relationship from being on the show.
Right.
I don't know. There is reason. She's saying that new housewife. This is what I was like, what? She's saying that new housewives, girls coming on the show, are calling her and asking her for advice. And she's saying, you don't want to be affiliated with me. You don't want them to know you talk to Siggy Flicker. I mean, is she confused?
I know. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Siggy, nobody's talking about you. The only reason we're talking about you now is because you sound nuts on all these podcasts you're doing. You sound nuts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it didn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I can't believe she's doing this for Teresa. I mean,
that's the only thing I can come up with, but you know how I feel. So that's where my mind goes.
I know, but I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, but it doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense to me because why?
Right.
Like you said, your life is so good. You're so blessed. You have everything you want. Your husband is so wonderful. Your family's so wonderful. You don't need any money. You don't need anything. So then why are you doing this? Why are you getting on a public podcast that every New Jersey housewife fan is going to listen to?
Right.
Because that's what we do.
But you don't want anybody saying your name. You want everybody to keep your name out of their mouth. Then go.
Then go away. Right.
Go away.
Stop doing these podcasts.
Right. None of it makes sense.
It does not make sense. Did you
Except she is on a Let's Bury Margaret tour.
But why? What did Margaret do to her?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what did... and I'm not a huge Margaret fan, and I've always told you this. I've said this from the beginning. I don't think she brings much to the table. I don't. I never did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but to have such hate for her, because that's what she has.
I think that Margaret was the reason Siggy left the show. And I don't even understand what happened. Like, I mean, she was calling her anti-Semitic, which she's clearly not. Her ex-husband was Jewish and she raised her children that way. She was clearly not anti-Semitic. That was ridiculous. But Siggy made a big deal about that. I mean, it all started when she did that wreath thing for Teresa's mother, and Siggy wasn't invited.
Right. That's what got her bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Because Margaret Margaret had never even met her, but I'm sure the producers told her to do that.
Of course they did.
I don't know. According to Siggy, people contacted or brought up her stepchildren's names. And that's when she said, enough is enough.
Where'd they bring them up?
In relations to the show. So I don't know if she's alleging that Margaret brought the names up, but I don't know why Margaret would bring the names up because she's got her own stepchildren and she doesn't. She's never brought those names up, and why would she bring up someone else's stepchildren's names? Like
none of it makes sense.
It doesn't add up. I feel like there's such a big piece of this puzzle missing, and I don't know that we'll ever find it out. I don't know that we're ever going to know.
Like, somebody should have asked her, like David Yontef should have been like, Siggy, why? Why are you doing this now? Why are you? I mean, he's the one to do it because he don't give an F.
I think he did kind of say, like, why? I think he did say that.
Did he?
Yeah, I really think he did because he really doesn't. I know you originally wouldn't even listen to him, but
so
I think that's when Kim D
listening to him, and then Kim D was on, and she would just trash Melissa and Joe, and I just couldn't take it anymore. His voice does annoy me a little bit.
He does have a bit. I agree. His voice is a bit annoying.
But but now that he doesn't have Kim D on, and honestly, I don't mind Kim D, but I hate how she's up Teresa's ass again. It's just annoying. But now that she's not on the show, I enjoy him much more because I don't think he ever picks a side. I think he gives an honest opinion, but he's not.
No, I agree. He just kind of middle ground. He's telling you what's happening and he's not like pro this or pro that. He gives you the facts and you kind of decide what you want.
Right.
He's not shoving it down your throat.
Right.
Like, did you all about the TRH?
Oh my, it's always been so one-sided. I told you, I tried listening to them a couple of times and I was like, I can't do it. I can't.
I couldn't stand their voices.
Yeah, I agree.
I couldn't stand their voices. And like I had said to you, very many times, I don't know how, before we knew how they had all this inside information. And that was the only reason I was listening to them, because they knew what was going on. I'm like, how do these people know what the hell is going on?
Right. And
well,
they're like in the Midwest, right?
Yeah. Yes, they are. They are.
Bizarre. So bizarre. Well, now we know. Now we know.
Now we know.
Did you notice last night on Watch What Happens Live when the other gentleman there, Brad Goreski's husband, I feel bad calling him that because I know he's famous in his own right. I just always forget his name.
Gary Giannetti.
That's it. I like him very much.
Yes.
I like them both, he and Brad.
Yes.
But when he said, I think the show needs both Teresa and Melissa, I don't think you can get rid of one of them. I think you need both of them. Did you see the way Jenn looked? I don't know if she looked at her mother or Bill, but she made a face. They put the camera on her and she made a face like, well, we'll see. Like, she knew something.
I don't think anybody knows anything. I don't think they've made a decision. But I did see that he, when asked a couple questions, like, he wasn't taking Jen's side. He was being honest.
The one answer he gave, he was like, well, Jennifer, because she's sitting next to me. Like, he was totally, like, whose side were you on with the Jennifer and Danielle thing? Which is ridiculous because obviously Jennifer was wrong.
Right.
She pushed her first.
Right.
And he was like, Jennifer, because she's sitting right next to me.
Right. Right. But then when it came down to like Teresa and somebody, he would say the other person and not Teresa, even though Jennifer was sitting next to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I think this
Lindsay, the housewife on TikTok, we love her. She put up a post today saying that, Bravo's making it clear that Teresa's not the golden child anymore, just even by having Kathy Wakili on Watch What Happens Live last night. Because I really do think that Teresa, and remember when Andy said to Melissa on Watch What Happens Live, just so you know, Teresa never made any demands about you not coming back to the show. I was thinking about it last night. Like, she must have done that with Kathy. She must have made demands.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then Joe and Melissa got on board with it, and they were like, okay, well, we don't need Kathy anymore. We got these two getting along. And then came
Louis. Did you see that Joe Giudice posted on Instagram about after the Trump attempted assassination, God bless Donald Trump. And he put a post up, and, he was kind of like praising Donald Trump and what a great man he was. Yeah. I was like, oh, good for you. I mean, I guess, listen, he's got nothing to lose, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe Trump couldn't get him back in the country before. Maybe if he becomes president again, he can. Yeah. So good for you, Joe.
I bet you Gia told him to do it.
I bet you she did too. She's not, well, I don't want to say she's not stupid because
I don't think she's stupid. I honestly don't think she's stupid.
Go get your law degree, sweetheart. Don't rely on reality TV for your future because it ruined your mother. So go get your law degree. You'd probably be much more better off with that.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. So interested about this new show that's actually coming out. What is it called? Something in the Manhattan, Made in Manhattan? How are they calling it Made in Manhattan? Because none of them were made in Manhattan.
Maybe, I mean, Riley Burris wasn't, the Bierman girl wasn't, Gia wasn't, Brooks wasn't.
None of them were.
Kimora Lee Simmons' daughter probably was.
Maybe. Okay, so one of them is Made in Manhattan? Like, I feel like they're going to have to change the name.
I think they are too.
Like, it doesn't make any sense unless I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something.
We're probably missing something. We'll see.
I am still very upset that we're getting no more Crappy Lake. And I'm sad for Sonia that she's going off the rails. I mean, I know that this is not a surprise to anyone who's been watching Sonia for as long as we have. I mean,
I didn't watch the 15th anniversary because Teresa was on it, so I have no interest in that. But from what I understand, Sonia was wasted.
She was out of control.
And how was Luann?
Luann was poised as she always is.
Okay.
Luann was fine. And Luann was just like she kind of was on Crappy Lake. When Sonia would kind of get off the rails and Luann would try and kind of wrangle her back in.
Yes.
She was kind of doing the best that she could because she was sitting next to her, but they were on a stage. They were on Watch What Happens Live and the cameras were right there. There wasn't much she could do.
Right.
They were both mic'd. There wasn't much she could do. I don't know. I just feel so bad for her. But then, we saw that she had a show that she showed up an hour late for. Her Sonia in the City show, and she was hammered, and she continued to get hammered while she was on stage. More hammered, if that's even a thing. Hammered, more hammered.
Jeez.
Yeah. I feel bad for her. I mean,
I
know,
do too.
My heart breaks for her. I love her dynamic with Luann, but she's not where she needs to be. I wish somebody would get
her to rehab.
Get her an intervention and get her to rehab. And, I feel like it should be Luann.
I'm sure she's tried. Don't you think she's tried?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I feel like Bethany did a lot for Luann when Luann had her issue. And even after that. So then, there's this whole Bethany Luann thing where they weren't getting along. And then all of a sudden, Bethany and Luann running into each other in the Hamptons a couple weeks ago. Did you see that?
Yeah, and then they took a picture, and then Luann put something up. Like, I guess that was just a photo op for Bethany because she still has me.
Well, they both have each other blocked each other, and Luann accused Bethany of using her daughter. Bethany's daughter was there, Bryn, and Bryn, and Bethany made the video like, oh, I guess life is a cabaret. because listen, this is no surprise to anybody who listens to us. I like Bethany. I've always liked Bethany. I love her daughter, Brynn. I think her daughter, the best version of Bethany. I think that she is smart.
Looks like a very sweet girl. Yeah.
She's a sweet girl. You know, she sees what goes on, and she's not even 13 yet. I mean, she's 12 years old. She's almost a teenager. She's not even quite a teenager yet.
Right.
But she grew up so quickly based on what was going on with her parents at the time, and to see her mom in this public eye. And that, you know, it was her idea to go over to Luann. Like, her mom's like, you know, Brynn's like, come on, Mom, let's go over there. Let's go say hi. I know you're not getting along, but you go be the bigger person.
That was nice.
And it was also her daughter that got her to make up with her mother before her mother died. You know, if it
was it really?
Yes. And she says that her daughter Brynn encouraged her to reach out to her mother. And thank God Brynn did. So Brynn was able to meet her mother. Brynn was able to help mend that a little bit.
Yeah.
When I say she is very wise beyond her years, like I want to see Brynn in 10 years, to be quite honest with you. I'm telling you, I think Brynn is going to light the world on.
I'll watch a show with her. Well, hopefully her mother will keep her out of reality TV. But hopefully we'll see her doing something like Avery. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, how cute is she? I'm so happy for her, Avery.
I am too.
And hopefully we'll see Brynn doing something like that. Not reality TV. These kids got to stay off of it.
Yeah. I mean, Bethany was also talking about, I don't know if you saw this, the whole thing with her ex was dating the Culpa sister.
Yeah, who are these Culpa girls?
I don't know, but that
I
ended.
have no idea who they are.
I think because we're too old.
Okay. That's fine. I don't need to know who they are. I'm good. I'm all set. So her ex started, obviously it was very soon after they broke up, because they haven't broken up too long ago.
Well, they had broken up way before we knew they broke up.
Okay. Well,
so
that
they had
makes
broken
sense.
up. Yes, they had broken up way before we knew they broke up, because Bethany was trying to keep it private, right? She wanted to keep it private. It happened before her mother had passed away. So, you know, she was dealing with her own breakup privately. She was dealing with the loss of her mother privately in the best way that she could. And then all of a sudden it comes out that he's with this other woman. He's already met the family, and they'd have this, you know, they had this big kind of, you know, serious relationship, and that things were moving forward quickly. And she has to kind of, like, she said it, and it makes sense. She had to read about this and like go through this whole breakup thing again. Like, now it's in public. And one of the reasons she wouldn't say, and I don't blame her, she wouldn't say the reason that they broke up, but one of the things that he had a hard time with is that she was so, and then all of a sudden he's with this other person who is also
John Jansen?
I know. Well,
oh my God.
Who's also so public. But after it came out, all the publicity came out, they broke up. So them going public with everything about when it had started, all the people he'd met, then they broke up. They're not even together anymore. And, you know, Bethany said, like, this is like a cautionary tale. If you have these relationships and you cherish the relationship, you have to keep them private. If you're in the public eye and you know that the person that you're with doesn't want that attention.
Right.
So,
for sure.
You know, I don't know. I just think that, like I said, she's dealt with a lot. She's raising a very well-adjusted young girl.
For sure.
And considering what this child has gone through and, you know, what she lives every day. I mean, you know, she could have anything she wants with the kind of wealth that her mother has, but she's not. She's not spoiled. Like, she is, you know, a kind and giving soul. And she tries to mend bridges and mend fences and bring people back together. And she did it with her own grandmother. And thank God she did.
Yeah.
Thank God she did.
I wonder if she's close with her father's parents, because I feel like I remember them, like, having a prominent role when Bethany was pregnant, like when she had her own show. I feel like his parents were shown on that, weren't they?
So I don't know if she's close with them now, but I do know that when Bethany started to do the divorce thing, one of the problems was his family. His family was all up in her business all the time. Yeah. So she'd come home from work. The mom and, you know, the grandparents would be there. She would want to just spend time with her daughter. The grandparents would be there. She felt like she was being smothered, especially someone who didn't grow up with that kind of
exactly.
You know, you don't grow up with that.
It might not have been that bad, but just because she came from such an opposite extreme, to her, it was like overwhelming.
Right. So we'll have to see. I mean, I'm rooting for them. I've always been rooting for them. I think, You know, I'll continue to follow her. I'll continue to like her. I think that she speaks her mind. I don't agree with everything that she says. Some of the things she says I think are stupid.
Right.
But that's okay. You know, we're all entitled to say stupid things. I say stupid shit all the time.
Oh, me too. Me too. Everywhere I go, I'm like, on the way home, I'm like, what did I just say? Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I do like Bethany. Hey, listen, she started something with that reality reckoning. She did. She might not have finished it, but she definitely started it.
Yep, she sure did. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with that too.
Yep, and good for her, because some things just ain't right. And Bravo don't give a shit. They really don't give a shit about their people. They've made it very clear. I have to finish that book, Not All Diamonds and Rosé.
That's the one that's like not what is the word? Not sanctioned, right? Like they don't like Andy didn't promote it, right?
No, he did not promote it.
Yeah,
He's in there. He's
right.
quoted.
Yeah, but he didn't promote it. Like it wasn't sanctioned by Bravo. It was kind of like a behind the scenes.
An ex-producer.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to read that and let me know, because I'm not going to read it. Is there an audio book version? Maybe I'll listen to it.
There might be. I started reading it last summer, but that, bad stuff happened and I had to stop.
I get it.
Yeah, but I have to finish that because I'm sure there's some interesting stuff in there.
All right. Well, until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
Bye.
Bye.